This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
Good evening. I'm Amanda Starantino.
And I'm Mark Mullins. Tonight, a family is upset after the Department of Transportation removed their daughter's memorial along the interstate. 23-year-old Gabriella Sparks was killed in a crash last year.
Her father put a memorial there to honor her memory, and RTV6's Stephanie Wade is speaking with him tonight.
This father is angry that his daughter's memorial was removed along I-65 without any call or notification from INDOT. Tonight, we're looking into their policy and what is and is not allowed along the interstate.
Like any parent, it was just complete and utter devastation. I mean, you know.
In May, 23-year-old Gabriella Sparks was killed on I-65 near Southport Road. Her father says she ran out of gas. She was outside her car along the interstate when she was hit. In July, he placed a memorial there to honor her and remember her by. Yet 5 months later, it was all taken away.
Anybody with any common sense could have seen that and known that somebody took a lot of great care into putting that there and that someone lost their life there. And this issue for me and my family is very important because we have really no place to honor her memory but there.
An INDOT spokesperson says they generally allow memorials along the interstate so long as it's far enough away from the road and not a distraction. In this case, it was too close to the interstate, they say. There were things zip-tied to their signage.
Like styrofoam flying around and, just a bunch of stuff on the side of the road that was distracting to drivers and maybe not safe for the motoring public. So we did eventually have to remove some of it from the side of the road.
The stuffed animals, flowers, the cross her father made, all gone. What's left is this sign. INDOT says the family can replace the memorial, but further away from the roadway and off of signage. Working for you, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
Well, January is Human Trafficking Awareness Month, and although the thought is scary and something you might never think could happen to you or your family, officials here in Indiana say it is everywhere in every county.
Our Kelsey Anderson sat down with an Indiana man who was trafficked in California at age 11 by his own mother.
The message officials want to send during the month of January is that trafficking can happen to anyone, anywhere, and we need to be alert to things that are going on around us, especially with the children in our lives. Eric Harris is a human trafficking survivor. He tells me his mom trafficked him when he was 11 years old, and she introduced him to the pedophilia culture. After that, he says things got much worse.
I got out. My mom moved in with these coworkers that was told to me. And then slowly but surely, a trafficker two or groomer two, he saw the brokenness of the relationship. And so he played on that vulnerability and that need for me to have the nuclear family.
Eric says once the trust was built, the man began exploiting him to even more men. He was able to escape, and now he's working on getting his education. I spoke with Kate Kemmer with the Indiana Coalition to End Sexual Assault and Human Trafficking. She tells me there are signs, especially for kids, when something bad is happening to them at home. And the main one and the easiest thing to see is if their behavior makes a drastic change. So if that straight-A student starts acting up in class, or you have a student that's sleeping or fighting, that's the time you should ask questions about what's going on. She says when it comes to children, you shouldn't be afraid to call authorities because it's better to be safe than sorry.
You need to be less worried about the adults that are harming kids and whether or not you might be wrong. If you're wrong, you're wrong. They'll do the assessment and they'll leave. And if you're not wrong, you may have access services for a child that has been going through a nightmare that you couldn't imagine.
Eric says he has one message he wants everyone to take away from this. He says no matter what, you should believe a survivor's story. He says in all of the trauma, some details could change, but believe them and be glad they trusted you enough to tell you what's going on.
And for more information on human trafficking and how you can help to end it, visit Kelsey's story on the RTV6 app.
Tonight, RTV6 is working to find out how well a new police partnership is working to keep an eye on crime. B-Link is a program that launched last year. It partners IMPD with local businesses and residents who own surveillance cameras. Well, just last week, a B-Link associated camera at a liquor store caught a video of a robbery happening across the street. It not only served as evidence for investigators, but they were able to get their hands on the video much more quickly.
But in this particular case, our detectives were able to get it the next day. We actually saw it the day of, and were able to email our detectives the actual video footage the next day. This is an affordable option, particularly for businesses and homeowner associations that are looking for ways to not only protect themselves, but provide a layer of protection for our community.
So far, 4 businesses have signed up to participate in B-Link. Now IMPD is working to raise the number on residents who signed themselves up to be part of the program with their cameras.
How about that? More January rain on the way just a few minutes after 7 o'clock. Generally light rain. There may be some sleet mixing in here, but it's rain that will take over. This is moving from south to north, and it will keep temperatures in the middle to upper 30s. We've been warmer than that so far through the day. Bloomington to Nashville to Columbus and Greensburg with rain. The temperatures there in the low 40s. Generally upper 30s to the north. 36 in Logansport, 39 in Frankfort, and there are a couple 38s from Greentown and Kokomo over toward Marion. Let's talk about the rest of the night. 9 to 11. There are the showers lifting to the north. Not expecting any heavy rain tonight. And if we go into the early morning hours, the showers thin just a little bit. But you see tomorrow morning, plan on rain. We'll see a dip in our chance for rain tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night. That will begin to transition to colder temperatures, which may bring an end to our snowless January. We've had some snow. We just haven't had any accumulating snow. We'll talk about that potential coming up.
Covering proposed marijuana legislation at the Indiana State House, Democrats made their case today for a couple of different bills.
One of their main messages was how Indiana seems to be lagging behind the times. Lawmakers say with nearly all of Indiana's neighbors legalizing marijuana in some form, the state needs to adopt laws that reduce cruel punishment and cut down on spending to enforce rules. One proposed law would decriminalize possession of smaller amounts of pot, much like Marion County has already done. Another Democratic bill would bar police from arresting people in Indiana who have prescriptions for medical marijuana from states where it is legal.
The bottom line is that sending people to jail with a valid medical marijuana prescription is bad, and Hoosiers should not be paying for their jail time.
No more jail time, no more criminal records. And you know what? This is the will of the people of Indiana.
According to legislators' own surveys they do with Hoosiers, right now roughly 90% of people in Indiana agree with decriminalizing possession of small amounts of marijuana. Indiana Republicans have repeatedly told RTV6 they have no plans to prioritize marijuana legislation in 2020.
Advocacy groups were also at the State House today to show support for bills that would support working women in our state. For example, one bill involves keeping employers from using your wage history in the hiring process. Another would give pregnant women more accommodations at work. One bill that may not get a hearing would establish a paid family and medical leave program. It's been referred to the House Committee on Employment, Labor, and Pensions, but it has not yet been given a hearing. Coming up, the nation's Democrats are using everything they can to get an impeachment, including the president himself. The latest on the Senate trial.
Plus, a little bit later, the next time you're staying in an Airbnb, imagine it outfitted with all items that you can buy yourself. The latest trend in mixing shopping with travel ahead when RTV6 News at 7 continues.
Storm Team 6 working for you.
Right now, senators are returning from a break for dinner in the middle of President Trump's impeachment trial.
And today, House impeachment managers continue laying out their case for the president's removal, focusing for now on the first article of impeachment, abuse of power.
Camila Bernal joins us from Washington with the latest tonight.
Today's schedule and arguments very similar to what we saw yesterday, but with an emphasis on the abuse of power. And once again, we'll see the managers pushing for those witnesses and documents.
As House Democrats enter day 2 of their opening arguments on the Senate floor,
the Senate will now hear you.
The debate over whether President Trump's impeachment trial will include witness testimony continued off the floor. Some Republicans finding the arguments of the House Democrats repetitive.
The scene yesterday was like Groundhog's Day because we heard what we had heard the day before, and I'm expecting more of the same today.
It's just repeating. I'll be interested to see how the president's attorneys respond to this.
Democrats trying to use that as a point to persuade them to join their call.
If my Republican colleagues are interested in some new evidence on top of the very substantial House record, there's a very simple answer. Vote with Democrats to call relevant witnesses and documents.
Wednesday, the House Democrats offered a detailed chronology with an intense focus on the July 25th phone call between President Trump and Ukraine's President Zelensky. Today, they're digging deeper into the charge of abuse of power.
The articles and the evidence conclusively establish that President Trump has placed his own personal political interests first.
The president's defense team will likely begin their arguments on Saturday.
We're going to begin our robust case when the Senate says it's time to start.
And a vote on whether to subpoena more witnesses or documents would come after the defense has concluded their opening arguments and senators' questions.
And there is an effort in the works to have a morning-only, a quick Saturday session. All senators would have to be on board for this to happen. But of course, so many of them want to go home and get some rest. And Ford in particular want to get back to that campaign trail. Reporting in Washington, I'm Camila Bernal. Back to you.
Coming up, airline employees say they've had it up to here with this particular kind of passenger who you may be seeing less of the next time you catch a plane. Kevin.
And we haven't seen a lot of snow this month. Will we see some this weekend? We'll talk more about that and what's ahead next week as well coming up.
Hoops. This is banking. A Fifth Third better.
This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
Flight attendants say plane cabins are starting to get a little too crowded.
And that's why they're supporting a new federal proposal to limit which animals can fly with their owners.
The Department of Transportation is considering new rules that would allow airlines to reject emotional support animals. Airlines say people have been abusing rules meant for trained service animals just so they can travel with their pets. The Department of Transportation handled 3,000 complaints about unruly animals on planes in 2018.
Well, today RTV6 sponsored a free book fair for the students on what is National Reading Day.
RTV6 employees spend time with the kids, picking out books and reading.
Each student could take home 2 free books, and they were overjoyed when they learned this. It's all part of the If You Give a Child a Book campaign, a literacy project spearheaded by RTV6's parent company, Scripps Media. RTV6 employees make donations to the If You Give a Child a Book campaign, and Scripps matches the donations in order to make the book giveaway program possible.
And the kids had so much fun today, but it was fun to watch them pick out exactly which ones they wanted. You could tell the stickers were a hot commodity.
Yeah, usually they are.
Lots of stickers.
And some kids wanted scary books. They said,
I was
where
surprised.
are the scary books? 1,971. That was the tally of books that I saw that were available for kids today.
Wow. Lots of books.
Okay, periods of rain through tomorrow. I'd say tomorrow night into Saturday we begin a transition to some snow. Doesn't look like the snow will amount to much, but remember, this month we haven't had any accumulating snow at all. We've had just a trace on a few occasions. Above average temperatures will lead the way as we get to next week. Tomorrow, Saturday, 2 next opportunities for precipitation, rain, then some snow, as I mentioned. We're dry on Sunday and Monday as temperatures start to warm back up. But tomorrow, temperatures, they'll fall from where we've been today into the 40s, pretty much stay in the lower 40s. As we get to the weekend, temperatures start to come back to average or a little below. But right now, staying above freezing, which is critical. As you look at the radar, light rain showers around Terre Haute to Bloomington to Greensburg and spotty showers north of that. Temperatures through the day on Friday, lower 40s. Rain through the day. As we get to tomorrow night, we may begin to mix in some snow, but remember, and you can see there, the ground temperature is above freezing, air temperature at about 37 or 38. 7 a.m. tomorrow, widespread rainfall. By 1 o'clock, beginning to see a break over 2/3 of the state is what we call the dry slot works its way in. We'll see that break into the evening hours. There's a little patch of some snow showing you the colder air starting to catch up to the moisture by the time we get to Friday night and Saturday. Temperatures over the weekend. 35 Saturday, 37 on Sunday. We're dry Sunday. Saturday, by the time we get there, may have had a ½ inch of rain in spots, a little more as you go east along the state line with Ohio. A little less in the western portion of the state, generally 1/4 inch. Snowfall potential, and this latest model run, maybe 1 inch but in most cases an inch or less, and half inch or so in the metro area. So some accumulation on grass. I think most of the roadways will just be wet. Saturday, periods of light snow and snow showers. Temperatures starting just above freezing, staying only in the mid-30s for the high. There's 7 a.m. Saturday. All the blue represents these patchy areas of snow that hang with us through the day into the evening hours. Saturday, temperatures cooler than where we've been recently, but still about average for this time of year. Early next week, temperatures back into the low 40s. We're dry as we go Monday and Tuesday. The chance for a little rain snow mix and temperatures still around 40 degrees Wednesday and Thursday.
All right.
That's that.
That's that. Thanks, Kevin, for that. Well, Airbnb has become a great way for people to make some extra money, but one woman has taken renting homes to another level, refurnishing her homes for free.
And she's doing it all by creating a business that allows guests to buy anything in the Airbnb. Annie Taylor reports.
5 years. That's how long Nicole Delmage has been renting out her home on Airbnb.
I have a goal for how this house can support me as I mature in my business and as I move towards retirement, honestly.
$90 was the cost of a one-night stay. But that was before her place looked this stylish, thanks to the help of Lauren Richardson's business, Cersei.
I have amenities and a true design aesthetic that draws people in. It's really marketing, and a lot of people don't know how to do that.
Local artists lend their handmade items to Lauren. She gets to use them to decorate Airbnb homes. She's got chairs, pillows, linens, art, mugs, and coffee table books. Everything is for sale. In return, the artisans make money when guests choose to buy their item while staying in the home. Here's how it works. There are barcodes all around the house next to items that are for sale.
So when you want to buy something, you simply just use the camera on your phone, hold it up to the signage.
Snap a photo, and the app lets you pay right then and there. Guests get to take the items home right away. Other items like linens or towels, new ones get shipped to the guest's home. These items become a souvenir for guests.
I got these on my trip to Denver, and this local maker made them, and this is so exciting, and that object now has a story.
As for Nicole, not only did her home get redesigned, costing next to nothing, she nearly doubled her nightly rate. No longer $90, but now $160.
What I get from the Airbnb is a base that honestly covers the costs of the house itself. So mortgage and utilities, no regrets at all. I'm really happy with it.
What an awesome idea.
Very
it
cool.
Works, yeah.
And right now, this shoppable Airbnb experience is not everywhere in the country, but Nicole is hoping she'll be able to expand it.
A couple of things I would get there.
Very neat. I know.
You just scan it and take it, right?
Doing a little bit of shopping while watched.
Still ahead here on RTV6, it's the ice cream parlor that really takes home the cake in the Hoosier State. Take it back into the RTV6 archives for this gem of a throwback.
And here's a live look outside from our downtown Northview camera. We'll be right back.
Vehicles specially priced at edmartin.com.
Well, the city is known for its architecture, and it is also home to an ice cream parlor that's unlike any other in Indiana.
And hopefully, if you've spent any time in Columbus, you may have made a trip to Sahara Coast for a black and white soda or just a scoop or two in a cone.
It was opened by Greek immigrants in October 20th of 1900. 40 years ago, legendary Channel 6 anchor Howard Caldwell visited Sahara Coast, and he found out about another iconic feature of this ice cream palace.
Archway are more dining facilities where one finds yet another Sahara Coast specialty. It's a concert pipe organ from Germany that's been here since 1908, proudly belting out songs of the 1890s. Louis and Manuel don't see a long future life for a family-operated business like theirs. Right now, at least, the fourth generation has followed other pursuits. But customers like Mrs. Garner would be very upset to see anything happen to Sahara Coast.
It's just a nice place to come. And you don't find a stranger in here. Everybody, because of the way it's fixed up, everybody's talking about it. And everybody talks to everybody else. They're just nice people.
Columbus almost lost the Heracos when descendants of the brothers decided to close in 2006, but another businessman bought it and restored it. The grand reopening was held in 2009, and Heracos is still going strong today. You can find more of our Throwback Thursday content at theindychannel.com/history.
That makes me want dessert for dinner. Is that okay?
I know, I was just going to say, can we go get some ice cream?
To Thursday. Go get some, yeah. One piece of trivia, Howard likes ice cream, did like ice cream. Jelly beans were his favorite as well. Always had some in the newsroom. All right, temperatures warm enough for rain. You can see the rain more substantial from Nashville to Huntsville, Alabama. For us, generally light showers tonight. They continue through the day tomorrow.
All right, but that is it for us. Ice cream time, right?
Absolutely. We got to go. We'll see you at 11.